Very few people understand the stock market. Football Index gives users the opportunity to trade and make money with something they love, the beautiful game. So it's going to be hard not to start with the Leicester v Tottenham result yesterday. Of course, the Foxes beat Tottenham 2-1. It was all about VAR, lots about VAR, lots of vile comments about our manager, Mauricio Pochettino, online throughout the whole of social media. Lots of people are calling for Poch to be sacked or Poch to resign from the club, which I find absolutely incredible. After all, it was only a couple of months ago he actually guided us to a Champions League final. All of us as Tottenham fans, would you have ever thought that we'd have been in the Champions League final? He has done some great things at our club, and I think that we should give him the time to put things right, and I'm sure he will get that time as well. Now, the 2-1 defeat yesterday actually now puts Tottenham, or after the results today, should I say, now puts Tottenham down to 7th in the Premier League. We've played 6, we've won 2, we've drawn 2, and we've lost 2. We've scored 12 goals and we've let 8 in. We're sitting with 8 points at the moment. Now, the next Premier League game for Tottenham will be Saturday, and that will be at home at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium against Southampton. Southampton are currently in 13th place in the Premier League. They've played 6, they've won 2, they've drawn 1, they've lost 3. They've scored 6, they've let in 9. And they are sitting just 1 point behind us at the moment with 7 points. Now, me personally, I'm never one to actually complain about decisions in a game. I always think that if Tottenham are going to win games, we should do it without all of these decisions being made for us. I know sometimes it goes for us. Of course, VAR went for us against Manchester City in the Champions League last season. But this decision was absolutely ridiculous in my opinion. It was something like 1.7 centimetres offside. Heung-min Son. Now, if I just show you the picture here of Sonny actually being offside, it is absolutely crazy. I just cannot accept that. I really can't. When I was actually sent the picture yesterday whilst I was in the game, that is ridiculous. Let me know in the comment section below what you think of VAR, because lots of ex-footballers, lots of pundits are thinking or saying that it is ruining the game when you've got decisions like that. It is meant to... VAR was actually introduced for clear and obvious decisions. That is not a clear and obvious decision. That is absolutely crazy in my opinion. But let me know in the comment section below what you think. Now, ex-Manchester United legend Peter Schmeichel, of course, one of the best goalkeepers in the history of the Premier League. Now, he has been tweeting about the VAR decision. Sergio Aurier scored the goal, hit it in the bottom corner of the net, and then all of a sudden, a couple of minutes later, it was ruled offside, Son being offside, as I've just shown you. Now, Peter Schmeichel actually said here on Twitter, "I will never be a fan of VAR in its present form. Not to give Spurs a second goal is an absolute joke. Let me be clear of what I'm saying. VAR was introduced to correct clear errors by refs, not for half a centimetre offsides." Peter Schmeichel, I couldn't agree more with you. I know everyone's going to say, yeah, but Chris, you're a Tottenham fan, you're going to be biased. These sorts of decisions will ruin the game ultimately, because it's meant to be about the attacking player for one, clear and obvious decisions for two, and it's just crazy. It really, really is crazy. So whilst all of us are unhappy with the VAR decision, now one person who hasn't been complaining about it was actually Tottenham manager Mauricio Pochettino. He actually said after the game, "I'm always talking about sometimes VAR, benefits you and sometimes it doesn't. That is football. After you can't complain, you have to accept it." So Mauricio Pochettino actually added the following: "We all accept that system in the game, and now I'm not going to complain. I'm going to accept that maybe if you were going to say it's offside or wasn't, if it wasn't clear, but I trust in the referees." So Pochettino actually said this about the Leicester City game. "The performance, I think, was good. After Wednesday, a long flight, I think the performance was fantastic. The game, until 83 minutes, we were the best team on the pitch. That changed completely the feeling in the last 7 minutes or so. So there you have it. Mauricio Pochettino, our manager, actually said, I think the performance was fantastic. He believes that Tottenham were far the better team in the 83 minutes of the 90 until Leicester actually scored. Let me know in the comment section below what your thoughts are of yesterday's game. Do you think it was a fantastic performance up until Leicester scored? Now, Tottenham still have not won a Premier League game away from home since January, since that 93rd minute winner in Kudu crossing for Harry Winks to head home, or head away, should I say, against Fulham at Craven Cottage in January. Tottenham's away form at the moment is just not good in the Premier League. So even Match of the Day presenter Gary Lineker, of course, huge affiliation with Leicester City Football Club. Of course, I know he played for Spurs as well, but he even tweeted saying, even though it's worked for Leicester City Football Club today, the way VAR is being used is crap. Could and should benefit the game, but at present it's sucking the life out of it. So let's go through some of the stats from the Leicester v Tottenham game yesterday. Now, possession 56% for Tottenham, shots 11, shots on target 4, corners 2, fouls 13. Now, Tottenham actually lined up with 6 changes from Wednesday's draw at Olympiacos. Now, forced that Gazaniga would play in goal because Hugo Lloris's wife has just given birth. So he was forced out of the game. He stayed at home. Serge Aurier come in. Toby Alderweireld, Jan Vertonghen, Danny Rose was back for this game. Harry Winks, Moussa Sissoko, Tanguy Ndombele, Eric Lamela, Heung-min Son and Harry Kane. That was the starting 11. Now the subs, Wanyama, Dyer, Eriksson, of course, dropped from Wednesday's game. Lucas Moura, cannot believe Lucas Moura didn't start, if I'm completely honest. Oliver Skipp, Davis and Alfie Whiteman. So a couple of stats here that are quite worrying for us Tottenham fans. Tottenham have actually failed to win 3 consecutive away Premier League games when we have been leading at half-time for the first time since March 2008. So as I said earlier, the last away win in the Premier League for Spurs was back in January at Craven Cottage away at Fulham. Now that is now 9 Premier League games away from home without a win. That is 2 draws and 7 defeats. The last time we had a longer winless away record was between April and December 2006, and that was 10 matches. Now, one thing I wanted to add to this video is just to talk a little bit about our manager, Mauricio Pochettino. As I said at the start of the video, he took us to a Champions League final on the 1st of June. I know we didn't win the final, but if you ask most Tottenham fans, would you ever think that we would get into a Champions League final? Most of us would have said no. Incredible times last season, certainly. But the 5 seasons that Mauricio Pochettino has been with us so far, just remember what football was like before he actually arrived. I know it's very easy to say that, you know, we're still trophyless under Poch, but I really, really do believe if Pochettino is given time and he is given more money to spend, I think that is key. Over 500 days, we didn't spend any money as a football club, and we still achieved our dream, and that was to make a Champions League final. I believe when Poch actually lifts that first trophy, I think that trophies will come, and I think that they will be one after another. Now, that leads me on to talk about trophies, because on Tuesday night, we're playing at Colchester United in the Carabao Cup 3rd round. And I think this season it is hugely, hugely important that Poch just goes for this competition, the League Cup. If not the League Cup, the FA Cup. Because the League Cup, when I look at it, when I look at the fixtures and the fixture running, if we actually reach the semi-finals of the League Cup this season, we actually play Liverpool 1 week, Manchester City 1 week. So we'd actually play both of them teams either side of the semi-final first leg and the semi-final second leg. So decisions will need to be made what competitions we're really, really going for this season. Now, with all the comments and the body language and the players out of contract and all the issues that Tottenham have at the moment, I think that it is just that we need to really concentrate on certain competitions and actually lift a trophy. And I think that that will do so much for the fans. I think it will do so much for Poch of actually lifting a trophy, because if you think, we've had managers in the past like Ramos and George Graham, they've lifted a League Cup trophy for us. Pochettino, we have had some fantastic times under Poch, and I love him. I think he's no doubt my favourite manager in my lifetime that I've seen manage Spurs. And I really, really do want to see Pochettino lift a trophy, as well as players like Harry Kane, as well as players like Sonny, Hugo Lloris, our club captain, and so on. And I just think it's so important. Don't get me wrong, top four, hugely important. It is hugely important to get Champions League football at our stadium. Hugely important to get Champions League football for the players that we've got here at the moment and for the players that we want to attract in the future. But I do think that lifting a trophy of any kind, League Cup or FA Cup, is hugely, hugely important to our football club right now. I've got to admit, as a Tottenham fan, this season has been a bit weird. I find that the first couple of games, you got the likes of Harry Kane, Harry Winks, even Lucas Moura. You know, they were talking about us being title contenders over, you know, at the start of the season, the first few matches, and then all of a sudden, Hugo Lloris says something like, you know, it'll be top four. You know, we're missing something, we're lacking. You've then got Pochettino's comments pretty much every week. Pochettino going in press conferences, being quite grumpy. Body language doesn't seem right at the moment. He then comes out and says things like, it's not the best squad I've had since I've been at Tottenham. You've got the whole Jan Vertonghen incident, leaving him out of the team. There are lots and lots of incidents so far, and we are 6 games in the Premier League, and there just seems to be so many talking points as a Tottenham fan right now of what's actually wrong at the club. Of course, you've got players like Eriksen, Vertonghen and Toby Alderweireld all out of contract at the end of this season. From what I understand, they can all talk to clubs from January. And then, of course, you've got people like Danny Rose and people like Victor Wanyama, who clearly wanted to leave the club in the summer, but the moves just didn't happen for whatever reason. Pochettino just doesn't seem his usual self, his happy self. And there are problems at the club at the moment, but I just hope that these are turned round very, very quickly, and I'm sure they will be. I hope that we do spend money in January. Let me know in the comment section below whether you think that we will actually spend money in January. You know, I know it's been spoken about a lot. Paulo Dybala, you know, would that help us? Would he get in the team? Would he get in the team? You know, would he push Harry Kane out of the team? Would it be good competition for him? Players like Wanyama. It did surprise me yesterday in the Leicester game, I must say, that he came on and Eric Dyer sat on the bench. Eric Dyer, of course, he captained England last year in a couple of the friendly matches as well. You know, he's sitting on the bench while you've got a player like Wanyama coming on who clearly wanted to leave the club in the summer. So what must it be saying to players like Eric Dyer and Oliver Skipp when they're sat on the bench and players like Wanyama come on? Eriksen, what do you make of the whole Christian Eriksen situation as well? You know, would you leave him out of the team? Would you carry on playing Eriksen for the remainder of his time at Tottenham? These are all things that Pochettino are dealing with at the moment, and I think that it is just time. Time will, you know, things will all be sorted out one by one. Pochettino, after all, said the rebuild will be painful, and I think that this is the painful process. It just means that all of us Tottenham fans just don't like losing to teams like Newcastle at home and Leicester away. You know, no disrespect to those teams. Both of the teams on the day played well, and probably deserve to win. Debatable, I know, but if you look at it honestly, we probably deserve to lose both of those games because we didn't create enough. Anyway, let me know your comments and your thoughts on the game yesterday. Thanks for watching another video. Now let me know your thoughts and your comments in the comment section below. Do you think that we should be going for one of the domestic trophies? Do you think that Pochettino should stay at Tottenham? I think it'd be crazy if you said no. But you know, each to their own. We've all got opinions. I know there's been lots of arguments and rows even between Tottenham fans right now. We've all got different opinions. It's just the way it is. You know, some want Poch in, some want Poch out. I can't understand the people that want Poch out, but if you do, put it in the comment section below and argue it out amongst yourselves. But you know my thoughts. I just think that we should go for a cup, and I think that Poch should stay. After all, every single time when a club seems to be interested in Pochettino, he has wanted to stay at Tottenham Hotspur Football Club. You can see his love for the club. You can see what it means to him. You can see what it means to him building something special at the club. And I'm sure that we will see these days again. And I'm sure and I hope that one day Pochettino will be lifting many, many trophies for Tottenham Hotspur Football Club. Anyway, put your thoughts in the comments section below. Come on, you Spurs. Very few people understand the stock market. Football Index gives users the opportunity to trade and make money with something they love, the beautiful game.